One of the key objectives of the Encephalitis Society is to improve the quality of life of all people affected by encephalitis. One of the best ways that we can achieve this is through encouraging and funding scientific research into the condition, from diagnosis through to treatment to recovery and rehabilitation. Large-scale research costs significant amounts of money, which, being the size of non-profit or charity that we are, currently means that we're unable to fund such projects. Our seed funding is for a smaller or pilot project, which can help secure future funding for potential large-scale studies or projects. We've been running our international seed funding for a few years now and awarded projects around the world in countries including Brazil, Cameroon and the United States of America. These seed funds have been extremely successful, leading to groundbreaking research findings regarding COVID-19 and neurology, as well as in other cases acquisitions of major grants to follow up on the original pilot project. It's also been a wonderful opportunity to develop relationships with other researchers worldwide. As part of working with the Encephalitis Society, you'll be invited to networking events with leading researchers in the field, as well as attend and present at the Encephalitis Conference, the global go-to conference dedicated exclusively to encephalitis. You can look at past projects and previous winners by visiting encephalitis.info/grants. We're inviting applicants from low to middle income countries around the world, from professionals at all levels including medical students, junior doctors and early career researchers, as well as those returning to research, post-doctoral research or those with equivalent professional experience. Researchers can apply for up to £10,000 British in seed funding for a project specific to encephalitis with a duration of up to 18 months. This year we have 2 seed fund grants available. For more detailed information and to apply, please visit our website encephalitis.info/seed fund. We receive a high number of applications and we also have a rigorous peer review process. So it's essential that your application form meets all the application criteria and that you fill in the form the best that you can do. Remember, we don't know you or your project. We only have your application form on which to judge your idea and your project. Make sure your application form really makes a convincing case why we should fund your project. We have put together this short animation to help you navigate the application form, and please do reach out to us if you have any questions. Watch this animation here and good luck with your application. We're really looking forward to receiving it.
Hi, I am a peer reviewer for the Encephalitis Society, and I want to give you some advice on how to be successful with your application. Before you fill in the form, here are some things to keep in mind. Show your passion for your project. We want to feel your passion. All applications go through a rigorous review, and so your application simply won't make it through if you don't make a good attempt with the form. Be explicit. Don't assume the reviewers know all about your project or subject. Assume we know nothing. Contact a previous winner. Check the previous successful projects on our website and get in touch with the winners. They may have some tips to share. Plan ahead. Don't leave it until the last minute to secure your letters of support or to submit your application. Now it is time to fill in the application form. Let's go through some of the boxes required. About you. Ensure your qualifications and your experience stand out. Lay summary. A lay summary is a brief summary of a research project or a research proposal that has been written for members of the public, rather than researchers or professionals. It should be written in plain English. Avoid the use of jargon and explain any technical terms that have to be included. Sometimes this is read first, so don't underestimate the value of it. Details about the project. Convince us that there is a gap that you want to address. Present preliminary data and do a background literature search. Have a clear rationale why you are doing it now. Methodology. Show that you know what you want to do and how to do it. Have defined and concise aims for each project activities and show how these lead to the main question which the project sets out to answer. Describe in detail the work you are doing, why you are doing it in that way, and how you will evaluate your work. Think about your desired outcomes and impact for both research and patients, and what difference will that make? Patient and public involvement. Don't be tempted to skip over this. We are a patient organization, and so patient and public involvement in research is important to us. Be innovative. Ask patients what they think of your proposed study and feed this in. Think about how you can involve patients in the study as you work on it. Are there things they can feedback or advise on? How are you going to work with patients and the public, who are often the beneficiaries of research, to disseminate your findings and to ensure that the communities your research affects know what you found out? Co-applicants. Convince us that the team involved is capable to deliver the project and that you have secured the support of your institution. Financial data. Make sure you do all calculations and justify the costs. How will this lead to a larger study? Remember, this is seed funding, and so we want to know how our investment will lead to something even bigger and better. After you completed the form, make sure you followed the application rules. For example, word limits. Complete all the boxes. Ask someone else to check your application. Submit your application ahead of the deadline and on time. Don't forget to send all the accompanying documentation in the checklist.
This was a massive opportunity to us. We were able to get in touch with researchers from all over the world. We could show a little bit of our work regarding chikungunya encephalitis at the Encephalitis conference. And with the funding itself, we could perform some more advanced laboratory tests with our patients with some interesting answers. Our group decided to run for a bigger funding, governmental funding here in Brazil, and one must-have to run for it was a previous international experience, and the seed funding accounted as one. We were chosen among many good work from colleagues from different universities, and today we were running a project called NeuroCov BR that runs in 3 different states. And so far we are following more than 200 patients with several neurological conditions. We were also able to contribute with different international research regarding NeuroCovid. One of them coordinated by the University of Liverpool. This has been really interesting for our group in terms of exposure and, to me, personal growth.
With this support, I've been working on a project with colleagues in infectious diseases, neuropathology, neuroradiology, and neurology here at Columbia, where we've been looking at the pathological changes in the brains of patients who died from COVID-19. We recently published in the journal Brain a series of 41 of the first brain autopsy patients back in the spring of 2020 when the COVID pandemic hit New York City. We hope that this is laying a foundation for being able to better understand these neurological problems and findings that we're seeing in COVID-19 patients all over the world.
This was a great opportunity to implement a network on brain infections in Cameroon and provide local data. For me, this was a major step in academic achievement, as it provided enough resources to conduct an entire project in a low-income setting.
This funding has been pivotal for us in starting new research projects on understanding how SARS-CoV-2 affects the human brain. It has taught us which specific cell types in the human brain become infected by SARS-CoV-2. I would highly recommend other scientists and researchers to apply for international seed funding in the future.
For further applicants, I recommend to study a question near their local clinical practice, as data on encephalitis are evolving and every context may be different.
I really advise you to run for this funding if you are a young researcher, if you want to solve the questions of your people and you are from a low or middle income country with not many opportunities of funding, if you are young and you already do not hold a permanent position in a university. The process of submission was very simple, and during the time I was holding the funding, everyone in the Encephalitis Society was really supportive. We could communicate with them all the time, and minor problems we had along the way were solved in no time. So I'm really fond of this society. I hope I can keep contributing and growing with them along the years, and I hope that we have many applicants for this year's seed funding, and I wish you all the lucky in the world, and I wish you to be great researchers in encephalitis, because we need to solve many questions regarding this subject.